Hi, I'm Kata, and this is Torn City News. I only got through about a third of the topics I had for this episode, so hopefully I'll get to another episode sooner rather than later. As it is, I have 2 sick kids at home, and I'm definitely coming down with a cold myself, so I'm just happy that I'm managing to get this one done. It's that time of year again where you're constantly hounded for your dog tag. You lost 15 minutes into the competition, and there's no way to opt out. Honestly, the competition doesn't bother me that much anyway because I'm pretty much in the hospital consistently on a normal basis. But it does make recruiting kind of a pain. Since joining a faction makes people easier to find, they do end up getting hit a bit more than they would if they were outside of a faction, which makes them think that this is how it's going to be all of the time, and they might get discouraged and leave. Which sucks because we need people over in the RA family, especially in our reviving faction, Rise Again. Now, with Miss Torn winner, Rogue Submarine as co-lead, just saying. Moving on from shamelessly plugging our factions to a slight correction or two from the recap episode. Nurple pointed out to me that it sounded like I was saying that Jux didn't get hit by the dirty bombocalypse, which they did, ironically by former member Proxima. Pretty sure they all had their reasons for bombing the people that they did, but in the recap episode, I meant that the bombers were hitting everyone so that they could hit Jux and make it not seem like they were retaliating for Horsegate. Not that they didn't bomb Jux. The other correction I had was that I praised L4 Suicide for his creative solution to the Dirty Bomb raffle scam issue. Turns out that allegedly his solution wasn't quite so creative after all. Decloran has stated that L4 paid him with a boxing glove stat enhancer to go to the faction and get bombed, so it would look like he was fulfilling his obligation for the contest. Decloran claims to have had plenty of warning and was using a hazmat suit at the time of the bomb. Which, if the allegations are true, and I quoted L4 in the thread asking about it, and I also PM'd him with not any concrete response, then the accusations of him scamming the Dirty Bomb raffle participants out of billions of dollars would still be true. Last year, I decided to try out an idea for an event that I had, and it worked out pretty darn well. So this year, I've brought back the Torn Black Friday dollar sale event, and we're still filling up slots with bazaar owners that want to drive more traffic to their bazaars. Rumor has it that Sugar Valves has been giving gifts to pass out to all of the participating traders. You don't want to miss out on that. Sugar Valves will have his bazaar open at 9 a.m. Torn City time. Leslie will have his open at 1 p.m. Torn City time. And Duke will have his open at 2 p.m. Torn City time. I was told that Leslie and Duke probably won't be there at the very start of theirs because they will most likely be stuck in the hospital. So customers will need to view their bazaars throughout the hour to participate in their dollar sale. I was told that they're going to have some pretty neat stuff, though, so it'll definitely be worth it. Make sure you help us celebrate American Consumerism Day, either by signing up as a bazaar owner or shopping on November 29th. Please see the thread and general discussion for more details. Are you sick of Sugar Valves running his, keyboard, I guess, not really mouth, when he isn't actually playing the game? Nadbash has offered an exciting new alternative to the conventional newspaper called Torn Shitty Times, and it has been really well received by the community. I highly respect his no bullshit approach to telling the great citizens of Torn the news in an alternate way. Hopefully there will be more issues to come, or maybe he'll come right for me, because Lord knows I don't have time anymore. Trick or Treat was a little less exciting this year, with there no longer being any repercussions to not having treats, and you were actually able to opt out this year. To me, this is just another way Chedburn is making the game a bit more boring. I swear I sound like a broken record, but the more you take away the bad things in the game, the closer you are getting to killing the game. Apparently, though, more people participated than ever have before, But that's neither here nor there, right? I personally didn't, because it didn't seem interesting enough to waste my time looking for the treats, but I'm still glad that they're at least doing something, even if it was slightly chedded. The promised mugging changes have now gone live, with mug protection being nerfed. To me, this is a step in the right direction. Now your money is only protected if you don't mess with it, so that means you can't have a friend mug you and then take the money out, sell something of similar value, and then you're protected for the sale. You get the money, are mugged, and then the remaining balance is protected as long as it's not messed with for 12 hours. But then the protection depreciates during that 12 hours as well. Also, the amount of money mugged has changed to take out 5 to 10%, with mugs generally leaning towards the lower end. Masterful looting mugging upgrade can increase this to up to 50%. Bounty reasons were also nerfed, which sucks, but it's understandable. Now you can't leave a reason at all if you're bountying someone that either has you blocked or that you have blocked, which makes more sense than just hiding the reason from the individual that has you blocked. I'm just happy to have bounty reasons at all. That's pretty cool in itself and would have made my days with my bounty placing firm I had much easier. SharkeyFive is in Fed for real-life harassment. He apparently found Evil Duck's real-life social media accounts and other information and was threatening to out him in Discord. As we found out by Declorin being wrongfully put in Fed twice for things outside of the game, staff aren't supposed to have jurisdiction anywhere but in Torn. From my understanding, staff decided that Sharkey had said enough in-game about it to justify putting him in Fed. I believe they said that they would let him out once he admitted to what he was doing, which has led to a bunch of Sharkey bending comments in the forums. Evil Duck was hit pretty hard by all of this, and I believe it's part of the reason for him not being around much at the moment. He's still not in TMB and is barely logging in. We may have had our differences, and he's not exactly innocent in doing things in a similar nature as to what Sharkey is accused of, but it's super shitty to have to worry about something like that. For an average player, it might not seem like that big of a deal, but for someone that's in the Torn public eye all of the time, a lot of the time, pissing off other players for entertainment purposes, it's a scary thing. You never know when someone might take something in-game too far and want to go after you in real life. I don't think Sharkey had any intentions of doing that to ED, but I don't think he considered this very well either. Speaking of entertainers in Torn not being around as much, I was surprised to find out that Champion was taking a break from the game. Hell must have frozen over for Champion to have taken a break. Also noted was that Nena divorced him. Not sure. Well, I mean, it could have been the opposite. I'm not really sure. I'm not sure if that's related to the break in some way either. I asked Neen why he was gone and didn't get much of a response besides he needed a break. When I first started TCN, Sugar Valves did a write-up in the paper about it, in which I stated that my main Torn goals were to beat Champion and Matt Senpai in Karma. Well, I probably won't beat Champion, but at least him being gone will give me half a chance at doing it. And Matt quit, so I probably have a pretty good chance at that one. I just hit 10,000 Karma the other day and made it to the Celeb Forum, so I am working on catching up. Zombie was sad that I didn't mention his Cluster F marriage to Nova, I think. Or maybe he's married to Edie or Princess Julie. I'm not really sure. But for a bit there, the forums were filled with news of their marriages, with the swingers trading spouses quicker than people bailed from Revengers after finding out that Edie and Dude were leadership. Either way, Zombie was crying that I didn't mention it, so I'm mentioning it now. Happy? In other news, Frank has returned as GSFMM, but is now back to Frank, solely so he can be on the community pages for having the spawn of Torn. After sending out random PMs to potential baby daddies and being rejected, he finally settled for me, and we're expecting our little bundle of joy in February. Having already been a mommy to multiple children, I'm excited to finally have a chance to be a baby daddy, although I'm not looking forward to the child support. Not saying he's a gold digger. Declorin has been super salty with staff lately and has been working really hard to undermine their credibility in any way that he can. He came back to the forums hard after a lengthy forum ban with a thread about how Bogie exploited a bug in the game back in like 2012, regardless of the time frame and whether or not it's an actual issue. The thread was a banger with over 100 likes and over 90 posts. It suggests that Bogie might not be the best choice for community manager since it requires him to fed people for exploiting the game, while he himself allegedly used an exploit to get the medical items used merit. Before medical cooldown was released, he apparently used the glass door method to hosp himself repeatedly and then use medical items to get the merit in the game. So some people are calling him a bit hypocritical. Bogie is not denying that he did it, but is defending himself by claiming he got the merit to help with the wiki and another off-site Torn website. The merit was then changed months later and reduced from 50,000 medical items to the needed to 25,000, and medical cooldown was introduced. It looks like some exciting wars have been popping up, which is really awesome. I am not going into depth, unfortunately, this episode on those. I haven't read the entire thread of the like Unrelenting versus the Animal Kingdom one. That one looked really interesting. But I will hopefully talk about them in the next episode. We were pretty lucky to get a contract with Warbirds and get to revive them, so that was pretty fun. So we were kind of involved, so that was pretty neat. I'm too tired to write anymore, and I already had all this stuff written, so I'm just going to stick with that. But hopefully I will see everybody soon. Keep it classy, Torn.